I still had been so indoctrinated by this word of faith type, new thought type of theology that I was completely misinterpreting passages because I kept hearing people like this. Why are we spending time focusing on others preaching than studying the Bible for ourselves? We can do both. This is a false dichotomy. Either you can preach the gospel or you can point out false teaching. Do y'all know how many books in the New Testament warn Christians, watch out for false teachers, false prophets, train your people, don't be deceived? We're doing this because far too many people are deceived by. Look at all the people in that room right now. Now, as the years go on, some of them are going to be like, all this is kind of ridiculous. And they're going to move on to some other thing, whether it be some other cult or maybe sound doctrine, or some of them might even just leave the faith altogether. Because when you realize this stuff is not really true, it don't really work. I'm not saying that everything she says is false. I can agree with Tiffany on a lot of ethical things, but when people start to realize the jig is up, then they're going to be gone, okay? So we're doing this because we want to help people avoid apostasy. You know, these women got kids. This kind of helped me get out word of faith too, like seeing people in my family decree and declare things that never happened. I still had been so indoctrinated by this word of faith type, new thought type of theology that I was completely misinterpreting passages because I kept hearing people like this. How many of us have spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars listening to people like this? Now, Tiffany doesn't seem to necessarily be one of the prosperity folks. I don't really be seeing her begging for money, so I'm not putting that on her. I'm just saying, false teaching costs people, whether it costs you your finances, your health. You know, there's some people out here in cults that be telling them, oh, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. Then they end up unalive because they were listening to the dietary plan of their pastor instead of the dietary plan of their doctor. So we're doing this to try to help people be undeceived, Sheila. Part of training people is showing them what's wrong. False doctrine costs us. We talked about earlier, like financially, we be giving so much money to these false teachers and false prophets and preachers and stuff. And then when you find out that the whole thing was just like you got gypped, then people are hurt and they're mad and upset. Some people completely turn away from Christianity altogether because they've been fed a false bill of goods. We can't answer their questions. They got questions about stuff, whether it be like, you know, why did this bad thing happen to me? Or theological questions. We can't answer them. Why? Because we're too busy slaying demons. People are leaving the church, and one of the reasons they're leaving the church is because we spending too much time trying to do all this wacky stuff instead of just teaching them the gospel.